All right, hello everybody. Welcome back to the stream. How are you all doing? So we'll figure out what we're doing inside of this stream, or in this stream rather, in just a little bit. But first, I want to remind everyone that Gunforged is available for purchase. This is my first full-time release as a, first release as a full-time indie developer. And yeah, you can purchase it to support me and leave a review if you end up playing it. I'd appreciate that. I've been stuck at 52 reviews for a while. And also I've got my Udemy courses available for sale. So if you want to learn how to build a complete game in the Godot engine, then you can check those out. So all of these things are linked in the description below. And again, they're great ways to support me as well. Okay, all right. Let's see. What are we doing? So I was in the middle of doing a bunch of tweaks and visual changes to this game now. And I forgot where we left off yesterday. Where did we leave off yesterday? Does anyone remember? That's ugly. That needs to change. I'm actually in the process of changing the health upgrade stuff. I'm actually using that to create another video as well. So I'll go over to the health upgrade real quick. We'll talk about that for a second. Oh, that was gross. Okay. Anyway, so max health increase here. So I'm actually redesigning this health increase screen to be in more in line with the other styles, using the 3-color palette, the dark purple and the lighter purple and the red color. But what I'm doing is I'm recording a time-lapse video of me doing that art so that I can produce a video on it. And what I'll probably do is just add some commentary over the time-lapse video. And I don't know what I'm going to say, but we're going to try it. We're going to see if people like it. And so yeah, hopefully that'll be interesting. So I won't be working on this at all on stream, at least not the art part, because I need to record that as part of the time-lapse video. So anyway, let's see what we got going on. Hello, Kinyaz, welcome back. Make an angry boy cannon or we riot. Oh, that's rude. Welcome back, Balato. How are you doing? Hello, iCode Stuff. Always good to see you. I still think it's crazy that after 50 years of gaming, some random guy invented a new genre of games. What are you? Which guy are you talking about, or which game are you talking about? Still not done with the game because work. We'll leave a review after. Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that. Hello, Himanshu. Welcome back. Yummers, I feel a bit better now. I decided I'll redo most of my Lost Sprites again from the ground up later. Nice. Well, welcome back, Snupbell. It's always great to have you here. And thank you for the yummers as well. The survivors genre. Yeah, I guess it certainly wasn't like a very popular genre if it existed prior to Vampire Survivors. But I think, yeah, there's still a lot of room in, like, I think just coming up with unique game genres. I still think there's a lot, like auto battlers too. That's a relatively new thing. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff. The whole like job simulator genre is really weird too, right? Like Euro Truck Simulator, or I forgot what other ones there are, but hello Cass, welcome. Had a few good runs on Gunforge. Are you planning any updates? No, I'm not currently planning updates. Unfortunately, it's a problem of economics. It would take me weeks or months to make an update, and I don't think that would drive any meaningful increase in sales. So yeah. I don't want to backseat game dev too hard, but I got confused the first runs with potions. I thought there were 2 because of the pin icon. Yeah, I've gotten that feedback. First of all, so I wouldn't say that backseat game dev. When you're offering your perspective as a player, that's just feedback. So and you're not even proposing a solution here, you're just pointing out a problem. So I think that's perfectly, not that I don't mind a little bit of backseat game deving either, but yeah, feedback is totally welcome. But anyway, yeah, I've gotten that feedback before because the icon is the same. So yeah, I blame the lawn care YouTube channels for the job simulator craze. Yeah. It's so weird, like, I don't know, like, why don't you just go become an actual truck driver? Like, surely that would be more fun, right? But anyway. I guess you can't, if you're in America, you can't be a European truck driver, so. Gunforged also have survivor elements of feel. Yeah, so Gunforged, I would say, is more inspired by Brotato. Because Brotato is like Vampire Survivors is like endless horde, right, for 20 minutes, whereas like with Gunforged there's like a wave structure. So, but it's similar. 4.5 beta 1 blog post. No, don't release 4.5 while I don't have my course published yet. It's okay, there's not actually any changes that are relevant to the course in 4.5. Let's see. Maybe I'll just make a note in my course that you can use 4.5. Let's see. Breaking changes. Tile map physics. Oh, do we want to go through this now, or do you want me to skip this? Is this interesting to anyone? Do you want to see my commentary on the beta patch notes or no? Do chore with lo-fi background music is a surprise hit this decade. True. I was and know it. Oh, you were a truck driver and it's not fun. I guess truck licenses are hard to get if you don't have a truck. True. Truck has 2 gear sticks and like 20 gears. It's a no match for the average driver. 2 gear sticks, huh? I don't know anything about trucking. I do drive a manual transmission, but I don't know anything about trucking. Hello, Neozoid. Welcome back. Go, go, go. Ito Makes Games. Welcome back. I was planning on checking it out myself, so go ahead. Awesome. I would find it interesting. How long goes between beta and release? Well, I've seen it vary quite a bit. Sometimes the beta is available for months, and sometimes it's like a matter of like 2 weeks. It's hard to say. It's a little bit inconsistent. 1 gear stick and a switch for 2 gear sets, yeah. I'm sure those trucks will be automated within a decade anyway, so. If you want to live out the truck driver fantasy, you'll have no option but to play a video game. Yeah, welcome back, Adam. Good to see you. Can expect around a month. Well, I got to get my course out before this gets released. The course is almost done. Okay, breaking changes. Tile map physics are now handled in chunks. That's a big one. Internal nodes are no longer duplicated. Only affects using... I don't know what internal nodes are. Excuse me, sorry. Node one-shot fading now uses... I don't know what node one-shot... What is that? Oh, it's animation. Okay. 2D and 3D navigation and link updates are now asynchronous. That doesn't affect anything that I'm doing. Navigation server 2D avoidance callbacks changed from vector 3 to vector 2. That makes sense. Removed Gradle build, that's irrelevant for me. Areas detect static body setting removed from jolt physics. Set scope removed from JSON RPC. I don't know what that does either. Animation, I'm going to just skip over this because this looks like 3D animation stuff. I don't do any stuff with bones and whatnot. Let's see. UX improvements. Implemented support for selection box movement and scaling within the Bezier editor. I don't use the Bezier editor either. Animation filtering. Ooh, that's nice. Okay. Add delta argument to skeleton. Okay. Audio video. Add metadata tags. Okay, I don't know what that does. C#. All right, let's see what we got in here. Native AOT on Android. Okay. Oh, that's cool. Oh, removing string name allocations on unimplemented getter setter saw a staggering 60 times decrease in resources. Wow, that's good. Not everything related to .NET was able to make it in time for 4.5. Gradual move to GD extension. Ooh. So it looks like they're developing GD extension, which is great. Yeah, as soon as Godot has very robust like editor plugin and GD extension tooling, this engine's gonna explode, I think. The more like modules you can just pack into Godot for whatever you need, the better. Okay, core. Properly log errors and warnings. Script backtracing support for GDScript and C#. Ooh, that's nice. Yeah, sometimes errors, because they go through the Godot API, they're hard to track down. So I wonder if that's what that's fixing, is like being able to actually trace through the system and through your scripts where an error originates. Always trace call stacks. Okay, we don't care about orphans. Let's see. Don't duplicate internal nodes. Scene change signal to scene tree. Add thread safety to object signals. Ooh, that's a good one. Multi-threading work. Documentation, we don't care. Editor. 3D thumbnails. Okay, well, that's not relevant to me either. 2D thumbnails. Oh, that's a good one. I've always found that the 2D scene thumbnail generation to be like very useless, because most of the time it's just a gray square. But it looks like this is fixed now. The world center is not accounted for with 2D thumbnails. That's going to be huge, I think. What better to start with variant exporting? That's nice. More flexibility is always warranted. Okay. Let's see. GDScript. Abstract. So we got abstract classes, although I heard that that's not really a true abstract class. It could be marked for explicit override by child classes. Oh, it's changing to the abstract annotation. Why would they do that? Oh, you can declare abstract functions. Somebody said that you wouldn't be able to declare an abstract function for override, but it looks like you're going to be able to do that. Interesting. Okay. Variadic arguments support. Oh, sweet. That's going to be useful, I'm sure. I'm surprised you couldn't do that already. I guess I never did that in GDScript. Nice. Inline color pickers, that's going to be a good one. Code completion for overridden user-defined methods. Cool. All right, GUI. Foldable containers. What is that? Dynamically cascading GUI objects with the ability to toggle if the contents are expanded. Nice. That'll work very well, I think. SVG texture. I'm not super interested in that. I don't know what this means. OEM alt codes. Stackable outlines on label. That's going to be useful. That's going to be really useful. Import. I'm not super interested in import. Input. You can gather all your inputs in gamepads and joysticks in anticipation of the integration of SDL3. Okay, I don't know. I don't know what that means. Internationalization, I haven't done anything with this, so I can't really speak to that. Yeah, so 2D navigation is handled independently now, so that's great. Navigation path query parameter limits. More navigation fixes are always appreciated. Oh, okay. So physics interpolation, that's great. Always like physics interpolation. This is running at 10 ticks per second. That's awesome. Look at that. Look at how smooth that is. Abstract. Hello. Flow. With the introduction of new keyword, yeah. Now that's a big deal. Yeah, I think it is a big deal. It's going to be really useful. That's for sure. I had to check the internal nodes. Those are nodes that do not show up in the editor, I think mostly for built-in. Oh yeah, plugins make use. Yeah, I know what you're talking about now. I'll have a look at that animation part. Yeah. Internal nodes have been more of a pain than anything when I accidentally created them with tool scripts. Oh yes. Your new course is GDScript? Yes, yes. A-star algorithm as a node would be first when C# GD extension goes live. They added drag and drop UID references. How do you feel about the UIDs? I mean, I think I think they're okay. I think if they just add better user experience around UIDs, they'll be fine. JS spread operator there now? Yep. You reading 4.5 updates? I am, yes. Hello, Arion, welcome back. Maikun Dev, doing well, how are you doing? I'll keep using Jolt for physics. Could you share how you think about what logic goes where? Can you elaborate on the question a little bit? Okay, Android editor experience. Okay, Linux. Wayland, I don't know anything about Linux. I'm sorry, Linux, everybody. Took extra release cycle. Okay, Mac OS. Okay. Vision OS, web. Here we go. Upcoming performance boost from SIMD. Oh yeah, I read that article. I forgot exactly what it is, but there should be massive web export improvements in terms of performance, which is great. The web builds have always been like hit or miss for me in terms of performance. Support for Windows 7 8.1 will be dropped. Oh no. Better upgrade your Windows, everybody. It's been end of life for over half a decade. Oh, I'm old. Another major improvement, export pipeline, is a possibility to modify the metadata of Windows binary. Finally! RC edit almost like never worked. It's so hacky. But now Godot can set the custom icon for your Windows exe for you. Oh my goodness, that's so nice. This honestly might be the only part that affects my course that I'm working on, because I'm going to have a lesson in there about exporting your game, and I'm probably going to need to put in a blurb about RC edit there. So I might have to add another section that's like, hey, if you're using 4.5 or above, you don't need this. That's nice. Wow. Ooh, this is great. So I don't know if anyone's familiar with this, but when you were doing borderless windowed, there was like a 1 pixel border around the window still, which was really annoying, but it looks like that's fixed now. Great. Okay, so we got stencil buffers. I read about this too, so you can do like the, you know, RTS, like highlight the guy that's behind the building, you know. X-ray material, cell shaded lighting. Wow. Fire effect implemented entirely with standard material 3D. Okay, specular occlusion. I don't know what that means. I don't do 3D, sorry everybody. Those are nice images though. Shader Baker. A new shader baker at export time. When enabled, all shaders will be pre-compiled at export time, ensuring that players won't need to wait a long time for shaders to compile. Oh my goodness. Wow. I hope that's... They've been saying that they've fixed like shader compilation issues for like 4 releases now. So I hope that this is finally like you don't need to do any hacky stuff to pre-compile your shaders. Wow. That's going to be great. I hope that that's actually going to fix the shader compilation issues. Although, does this... I hope this is also for 2D, because they're showing 3D. Okay. Well, I hope it works for 2D as well. Finished my exams? Awesome. Preparing to move out of my uni dorm. Nice. Congratulations on finishing your exams. I like GDScript because it's close to JS. I do think more languages should borrow some of the syntactic sugar from JS. Like, being able to do spread operators to construct new dictionaries and new arrays is so nice. Better move to Linux, yeah. We need Windows Vista support. I have a player that can place stuff on a floor grid, but also needs a placeholder will be placed. So raycast from the user that triggers preview, but also listens to the floor. I think what I would probably do, just given this information, Cass, is I would probably create a new node that is responsible for handling the placement logic, and also probably doing the raycast as well. So I think I would create like a third node that is just like a placement manager, or, you know, building ghost or whatever that can ideally handle all that logic for you, or like provide a place for you to do all the placement logic. I wouldn't write any placement logic in the player script or the player script, and I certainly wouldn't write any placement logic in like your grid either. The grid should just contain APIs about whether you can place something at a certain grid cell that can be called from other parts of the system. But in terms of like the state, in terms of like which object exactly is being placed and where, that should be handled in a third place that's not the player and not the grid. And it should query the player or call functions on the player and the grid to do its validation, if that makes sense. That's the way I would approach it. I'm still on XP. I know about signals, but it still feels pretty complex. Yeah, see, I don't know if I would use signals for like querying grid state. Yeah, I think I'd just do a more direct, like, call the grid and see if I can place things somewhere. Remember trying to change my game icon and failing a bunch? Yeah, it's very iffy. Even when it works, like RCEdit or Godot will still show a warning that it wasn't able to use RCEdit sometimes. It's just so confusing. Good morning, John's Adventure Realm. So happy to be here for the live stream. Yes, happy to have you here. Having to install other software, yeah. 4.5 release date. No, the first beta patch notes are here. Control Enter for a new line, but that doesn't work in chat. Oh. All the shader changes are fantastic, just trust me. Okay, I will trust you, blue thing. Godot comes a long way, more to go. Yes, indeed. Buckshot roulette kind of games are going to get on upgrade after that shader style lighting. Ooh, yeah. Lots of under the hood optimization. Making a game in JS is also so fun. I do JS 13K game at Jam. Is that the one where you have to make a game that's under 13 kilobytes? Or am I just making that up? Okay, so that's basically it for the changelog. So as far as the course that I'm making, the only thing really that's going to maybe affect it is the Windows icon stuff. But I think everything else, like you said, is mostly performance improvements and enhancements to like 3D, which Godot sorely needs, but is irrelevant for what I'm doing. Under 13K limit, nice. That is an interesting challenge for sure. Certainly wouldn't be able to do that with Godot. Hold on a second. I think there's something stuck in my mouse. Okay, hopefully that works. 33rd place last year, nice. Very nice. Okay, all right. So what are we doing? So now that we did that little detour, I always like reading the patch notes, though. I like reading patch notes. Does anyone else like reading patch notes? I don't know why. Like, I'll read patch notes for games that I don't even have installed. My mouse feels weird today. I don't know what's going on. It feels... Hold on. I don't know what's going on. Oh well. We'll deal with it. So, what do we got going on here? What needs to happen? Let me think. Alright, tell you what. Tell you what, Kinyaz, I'm going to do something just for you. Let's change those booster sprites. Those grave sprites. If I can remember where it is. Okay. I wonder if that color change is just going to be enough. Let's see. You like reading patch notes too? I like reading patch notes for my favorite games. Gives you new ideas. It does. It does indeed. All right, we got to find a booster. There's no... Oh, there's a booster down here. Let's see if that makes any difference or if I still need to make changes to the booster stuff. Okay, that's two purple. So we're going to have to make some changes. I think... How am I going to do this? I'm going to change this just to white. Probably want this to be the main color. But of course, the problem now is that I don't know what to use for this section there. Because I lose that definition. I wonder... Let me think. That looks kind of weird too. Let me think. What do I want to do here? I'm curious if this is going to work. If I just outline this. Like so. I don't think this is going to work, but we'll see. Nope. It's too... I'm going to put the background in so I can see what this looks like. Wonder if I just... Let's do this. If I just make the purple sections smaller. Random question. Has anyone here ever seen that movie Arrival? I just watched that again last night. That movie is so good. Unbelievable. This probably... Let's do this. I wonder if I just... Let's do this. I wonder, yeah, maybe I'll just change, hold on. Maybe I'll just do this. Oops. I'll just make it look like this instead. Is that going to work? I think that might be okay. I think that's okay. Then what I can do is I can add... Can I do this? Can I add little... Just little pock marks, I guess, in the stone here. I think that looks okay. And then I can go ahead and add just like little highlights there. I don't like that placement. Maybe I'll just do that. Probably don't want to put any of them over here. Maybe I will, though. Let's see. No. I think that's better. I don't know. You aren't supposed to feed your mouse cheese. Ooh, yeah, good point. Good point. Is it running out of juice? No, I've got good battery, 55% battery. For Godot, I even check out the pull requests and proposals link to be able to understand everything. Yeah, I do that on occasion too. Reading patch notes for MOBA games is funny because you know players will go insane. Adding five to anything blows their minds. Yeah. What? This player was already overpowered and now you're increasing their base health by 1? Oh my gosh, it's the end of the world. Hello, Shirley. I have a super important question as well that only you can answer. I'll ask you in person when I have a chance to see you. Oh my gosh. All right, Shirley, you can ask me in person. All right, Shirley. Is that a hole in the middle of the crucifix? Pixel art perspective is confusing, I guess. Yeah, I think it's better now. But let me know if it still looks weird. Are you planning to make small updates to your Survivors game course? I mean the small things like replacing deprecated tilemap with tilemap layers. Honestly, I'd probably just re-record the whole course because that was made when 4.0 first came out, and a lot has changed to the point where I'm not sure that just like inserting a new lesson or updating that one lesson is going to help, because it's just going to be disjointed and awkward, and the UI I think is slightly different. I just want to re-record. So I think after the multiplayer course is done, I think what I'll do is I'll probably just, instead of making any new courses, I'll start re-recording the old ones. So I've got my platformer course, which it was made in Godot 3, and it was my first course, so it's got lower video quality and all that stuff. So I want to redo that. I'd want to redo the Vampire Survivors course, and then I'd want to redo the C# course, and then, you know, whenever updates are needed, not necessarily just to update them, but Arrival is great. Yeah, I love that movie. I love it. Keanu? Am I Keanu? Or are you talking about something else? Got the John Wick hair. Looks way better now because the intersection of the hole is the correct side according to the light. Yeah, I think it's fine. And actually, this looks a little bit thin if I'm being completely honest. I think that probably looks a little bit better. Although, does it look better? I think it's okay. Yeah. You know what I say, we gotta quit while I'm ahead. I think that looks better though. I thought Arrival was with the Alien movie with Keanu being reborn on Earth to convince humans to stop self-destruction. I mean, there may be a movie that has the word Arrival in it that's like that, but no, this one's really interesting. It's the best alien quote-unquote invasion movie I think I've ever seen, because it doesn't follow the typical alien invasion script, you know? All right, let's see. How do we feel about those gravestones now? Are those better? I think they're a little bit better because they're using the same style now as everything else. I love the twist in Arrival. Yeah, yeah. It's just a really interesting, like, unique concept for a movie that is executed really well. And I don't typically like sci-fi alien invasion movies, but that movie, and also what's the other one? I liked, what is it called? District 9. District 9 is a good one too. Okay. The Day the Earth Stood Still is the other movie. Oh, gotcha. That's the one with Keanu Reeves. All right, let's see. I think everything's looking all right. Goodbye. This game is coming together, everybody. It's coming together. I can see it. I can see the full version of the game. So there's still a ton of stuff to do, though. Is there anything else visually that I need to do? Let me see. I'm going to make one other tweak while I'm here. This grill board container with these firefly particles. These firefly particles are not pre-processed at all. So they got a lifetime. I'm going to add a pre-processing to it of 2.5 seconds. And then drawing, we're going to do local chords so that that sticks with the crystal here. Because right now, if you just click through it really quickly, the firefly particles never show up. So let's see if this works now. Okay. Actually, that's a little bit awkward. Why are those firefly particles not moving? Oh, these need to be in the crystal animation route, I guess. Let's try it now. Let's try it now. 2 increased board sizes right off the bat. That is also not working. How is this actually working? Play in stump. Oh, it's animating the crystal and the stump separately. Why do I have a crystal animation route then? Okay. Well, I guess I will just put those under the crystal then instead. No, because that's going to get shaken. I guess this ended up being more complex than I thought it would be. Wonder what happens if I just turn the... Well, shoot. What am I going to do? I don't really feel like spending a bunch of time on this just to get the particles to look better. Maybe I'll do a pre-process of half a second. Oh, actually, you know what? Maybe the main problem is not this. Maybe the main problem is just this local chords. Is the visuals being animated at all? I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on. What's the estimated release date of the course or of the game? The course should be available, if not by the end of this month, then like the first week in July. There we go. That looks better. District 9 was made with duct tape and throwaway assets from a canceled Halo movie, such a masterpiece that I hope won't get a sequel. Yeah, I heard that it's like, that's another one of those really creative movies. Even more proof that constraints breed creativity, right? You know, maybe one of the reasons why a lot of modern movies are just kind of mediocre is because they have infinite budgets. Okay. Nice. I'm on lesson 28 using 4.4.1. Didn't notice anything major. Maybe some UI, but maybe it's because I'm not completely fresh with this environment. I could be just overestimating the extent of the changes that need to be made too. But, you know, I guess what I could do is start by re-recording like the tile map layer stuff, and then if I find out that, oh yeah, there's a lot of other stuff that this affects too. Because the other part is like, okay, so if I update that lesson and they say, okay, here's the tile map layers, I'd have to, yeah, so I think this is what I was thinking of. So the rest of the game, like whenever I'm showing like the tree is going to have the old tile map and not the tile map layer, but also like the finalized code of the game, I'm going to need to update that finalized code, which wouldn't be a problem in the case of the Vampire Survivor course. However, starting with my C# course and now the course that I'm making now, I'm offering zip files of snapshots of the code after every lesson. And so if, you know, halfway through the course I have to change something, I would need to rebase it in such a way that it modifies the history, or like branch off of it and just edit it or something. It'd be kind of weird. It would be a whole mess. Finally, summer, so I can catch some more streams. Nice. Welcome, Lukey. Good to have you here. Hello, A the Ant. Woke up at 3 a.m. Oof. Those days can be kind of fun if it doesn't happen regularly. Well, both. Okay, yeah, this game, I want to have this game done by the end of the year too, so we'll see how that goes. Even games started being bad when the budget grew. Yeah. I do think that there's a lot to be said for like intentionally adopting some restrictive constraints. I think that some of my best game ideas have come out of game jams for that reason. And I actually don't think you're doing a service to yourself if you give yourself an unlimited timeline and an unlimited budget. That's just based on my experience, though. It is time consuming, yes, definitely. Okay, so let's tweak grow board particles. So there's a lot of stuff to do. I have that relic system that is in progress that does not currently have any sort of event associated with it. So getting that relic system working a little bit more, I actually don't even know what that looks like with the modern, not the modern, but like the new UI. Like I'd have to show relics up here somewhere. And then also in the combat. Maybe I should focus on that next because, yeah, I actually don't know what state the relic system is in now that I've changed a bunch of stuff. So let's just, maybe we'll work on that a little bit. I actually don't know how to do this. Did I call them relics or artifact? I think I called them artifacts. This.get artifact manager.add artifact registry.from ID artifact ID dot booster option poison heal. Let's see what that does. Hello Marcos, welcome back. Still playing Gunforged. I did a little challenge, beat only the initial guns. Oh nice, beat only the initial guns was tough, and one of my runs did 1 million damage, was fun. Awesome, glad you're enjoying it, Marcos. 1 million damage is a lot of damage to do in a single run. Unlike most 2D Mario games, Wonder was made with barely any restrictions, leading to more creativity and better game overall. Interesting. Yeah, that is interesting. Okay, Venom. Start each combat with 25% health. All poison damage dealt heals for the same amount. Does this even still work? Oh, it does. Wow. So the relic still works. That's nice. I don't know if they should be like up here. It's kind of interesting. So I think what I want to do is I want to do a couple of things. Let me think. So I definitely want some kind of... I definitely want some kind of event where you can get an artifact. But I also want the shop to offer artifacts, and I also need more artifacts. Do I have any artifact ideas at all? Let's see. Okay, X cards are generated 1 tier higher. All minion cards gain 20% crit chance. Ooh, that's a good one. After each combat, a insert specialized minion card is created. Interesting. So those are my in-progress things. All minion cards gain 20% crit chance. Artifacts are going to be really interesting. That's going to have a big effect on the sort of the code architecture of my game here. I kind of want to make a new artifact. I think that would be interesting. Oh, are you kidding me? Let's do that. Let's add a new artifact. I haven't done that in a while. It'll be a good way of getting back into the artifact system before I do the artifact event and artifact purchasing. So that's a system that has been neglected for a while now. The fun is one hit kill enemies and they spawn after and start lag after that. Oh, really? Oh, man. I agree with the idea that limitation breed innovation, but these limitations need to be changed every so often, otherwise you get used to the limits. True. Item ideas are so ridiculously hard for me. For the past few months, I've been working on a similar grid-based positional Balatro-like thing, and I can't think of anything. It can be hard, yeah. I think, well, I'm helped out by the fact that I've got chat here to help me brainstorm some ideas, but one of the reasons why I kind of went really wide at first with like adding fire and adding poison and adding like healing and raw damage and crit chance and crit damage is because that gives me just a lot of different things to pull from when I'm making artifacts or new cards or whatever. And because all of those things are being designed in a modular way, I can take two unrelated things together. So I could make like a healing item that has 100% crit chance, which means that it does, you know, it crit heals every time. But since it has a 100% crit chance, you could alchemize it with an item that has raw damage. And if the crit chance is alchemized onto that new item, you could have a 100% crit chance heal and 100% crit chance damage. And then what you could do is like buff the crit multiplier on that item a bunch, right? So like, if you think of everything modularly and you add like a lot of different features into the combat of your game or whatever your game is, then you can just pull from all of those things and just like mix and match a bunch, you know, and just like create different remixes of combinations of things. That's basically how I'm approaching it here, and I think it's working so far. But it does get tough, like, because you obviously don't want to make two cards or two things that are basically the same. So trying to make them have a unique identity is also very difficult, but yeah. Yeah, that's a good suggestion. I tried to plan out a method of arranging tiles like the way you detailed in this game, but I couldn't make it work for what I needed. Oh, I'm sorry. Can be hard. It's definitely difficult. It's definitely difficult. Okay, so I'm going to take a 3-minute break real quick, and then when I come back, we're going to add this new artifact. All minion cards gain 20% crit chance. That's going to be really interesting technically. I don't actually know how I'm going to accomplish that without making a mess of the code base. So that'll be a nice exploration. It's going to be nice for me too, because I forgot how a lot of these systems work. And we'll see how that goes. I hope it doesn't take more than an hour, but we'll see. So we'll go ahead and do that. And in the meantime, please check out the links in the description below. Those are all the ways you can support me. Give me 3 minutes. I'll be right back and we'll continue on. All right, your favorite niche internet e-celeb is back. What a way to introduce myself, you know? Like, can you imagine unironically doing that? Anyway, that's what I've been trying to do. It's a slot machine grid-based. I have some decent ideas. That's just trying to work things out with actually scaling them and making more as rough. Yeah. I'm sure I'm gonna be in the same spot as this game starts to grow in terms of content. Yeah, the other thing you could do too is like, yeah, just get something in the game that's kind of loosely based on what you want, and even if it's not like perfectly balanced or whatever, you can still add it to the game and then like tweak it later, right? I need to start taking my own advice. It's very helpful. Or was I thinking of that intro for 3 minutes? I wasn't, no. I wasn't. Anyway, all right, so let's create a new artifact. So if I recall correctly, I think, yeah, I have a data artifact. So let's create a new resource, artifact, resource. We're gonna call this, I guess we'll just call it minion crit chance to be boring. Minion crit chance, display name. Oh, we need a good name for this artifact. Art. What is the art supposed to be? Is it supposed to be 24 by 24? So I'll just go ahead and add a placeholder texture here for now. 24 by 24. What are we gonna call this? Maybe like, ooh, trying to think of something good. We need a name for it. Minion crit chance is increased by 20%. I vote for you to always start the lives like that. When you make the new grave though? I did, look. I mean, it's not new, but I recolored it, see? Does it look better or no? Or do you still not like it? Display name, I don't know what to call this. What are we gonna call this display name? I guess I'll just call it X for now, whatever. All right, so minion crit chance. So what I need to do now with the artifact, I think I need to go to, let's close all these. Data artifact. I will forever hate on the grave, it doesn't matter. Okay, well, okay. All right, good to know. At least I won't spend too much more time on it then. Minion crit chance. All right, so this is going to be very difficult, I think. So we've got this base artifact here. We've got a couple of things that we can override. Hello, missed a couple of streams. What have you been up to? Just doing various visual tweaks, animation tweaks and whatnot. You know, nothing too big. Right now we're adding a new artifact to the game, and this one is going to increase the crit chance of all minion cards. And so now I need to figure out how to do that. So we got base critical chance, base critical multiplier, set base critical chance, set base critical multiplier. How is this working? Alchemy event. Okay. Get modified critical multiplier. Enchant modified critical multiplier. What is this? Get modified critical multiplier. Apply critical chance. Okay, so I already have a method in the base card here called get modified critical multiplier, which is iterating over the enchants and calling modified critical multiplier on that. So I think what I might do is something similar. So in here, let's create another method in here. Let's do public virtual void. The biggest thing that you can keep in mind when you're designing systems like this, where you've got numbers that can be modified in every place, is like have a single access point. So anywhere that you're reading the critical chance of the card, for instance, that should always only ever go through one method. Don't use, if the moment you start reading the critical chance in multiple different ways across the code base, it becomes impossible to make any sort of modifications to it that are consistent throughout the game. If you want your numbers to be consistent throughout the game, when you're making this kind of thing, you need to have a single access point for all the numbers. So get modified critical multiplier. This is the method that's always used to determine what is the critical multiplier that needs to be applied. And that happens in combat, but it also happens for the UI, right? So now, because I've done this, it's going to be relatively easy to just like do what I'm basically doing for the enchants here, but to do it for the artifacts. Because then I can just get a list of the artifacts, iterate over them, and apply the crit chance based on whether the artifact should apply crit chance or not, right? Now, I'm sure it will become a little bit more complicated in the future, especially if I have like temporary critical chance buffs, but yeah, that's like the number one thing you need to keep in mind if you're trying to design a system like this. Should make a Discord. Yeah, I know I should. Goat. Hello, Rin. Welcome back. Always good to see you. Welcome, welcome. So in here, I'm going to want to get the artifacts. So, oh, this is not going to be super easy though, because the artifact data is currently not accessible in here. Oh, okay. So how am I going to get the artifact data available in here? Well, let's figure this out first. Modify critical chance. We'll do artifact context. Do I need the artifact context? Ref float critical, what? No. What I probably need is some kind of information about the card. So modify critical chance base card. So anyway, what I would do here is this would return, oops, what am I doing? This would return a float, return card dot, actually, we're gonna want to pass in the card here, but float critical chance in there. We'll return critical chance by default. Yeah. So now I can override that. Public override float modified critical chance. And what I can do in here is I can see if card card definition resource dot tags dot has flag card tag dot minion. We'll do a not. If not, we're just going to return critical chance and then return critical chance plus 0.2. I think that's it. So that's basically what the artifact does. That's it. But now I need to figure out how to actually get the artifact context into the card here when we're doing get modified critical multiplier. Because the card has enchants on it, but it doesn't have a way of getting the current artifacts. Oh goodness, how am I gonna get... Where is this being called? apply critical chance. Let's see. Oh, goodness. Yeah, all of this is happening. Okay, so the problem that I'm dealing with now is that this artifact manager is a node in the scene tree, and this node contains the context about which artifacts the player currently has in the inventory. So now it's a matter of figuring out how to get that artifact context into the base card here. I'm kind of considering doing something a little bit messy, which is to create a static method on the on the artifact manager that will basically do a check to see if there's a valid artifact manager instance in the game, and if so, return the list of artifacts. Otherwise, just return an empty list. That's a little bit messy to do it that way, but it also might simultaneously be the cleanest way to do it right now. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to ask the AI what approach it would take. Okay, let's ask. Hello. Hope you're well. I need to provide artifact context into get modified critical multiplier in base card. Currently, artifact inventory is stored in, can I do at? No. Artifact manager. What is the best way to get the inventory of artifacts into the get modified multiplier method without creating a mess? Okay, let's see. Artifact context. Yeah, that was something that I considered, but the problem is I'd need to construct that artifact context everywhere I call this, which is probably okay, but actually it wouldn't even work in here. Apply critical chance. Yeah, I kind of don't want to do that. Pass artifact manager through execution context, but there's no execution context. The problem with the context approach is I need to construct the context everywhere this is called and everywhere dependency injection. So it wants the artifact manager to be put inside of the card. Man, this is not ideal. I don't want to store long-lived references to things that are in the node or in the scene tree in the base card, because this is basically just purely data. This base card doesn't know anything about the scene tree, and I don't want to change that. Although I don't know if that's any different than what I'm proposing, which is to do a static get artifacts or whatever. Fire belly, more like flame stomach. Thank you. I'm so stupid that I just realized the game's character and theme resembles your profile picture and channel banner. Well, I wouldn't say that you're stupid because I didn't intentionally do that, but I guess it is very similar. My interests are consistent over time. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? That's a good point, though. Spooky, scary skeletons. All right, I'm just going to move with the static access. I don't really like this approach that much, but the other approaches are going to be relatively cumbersome. I don't want to have to create an artifact context every time I call apply critical chance and base card here. So this apply critical chance, it has to be called on the base card. Where is it? It has to be called on the base card anytime there is an ability that can be affected by critical chance. So we've got execution context.card apply critical chance here. And then we've got execution context card apply critical chance. Apply critical chance. All of these are using the execution context though, so it's possible that I could add extra artifact context to it. But then the question is about like this ultimately calls get modified critical multiplier in here. Or get modified critical chance rather is the one I'm looking for. So that gets called in here. And so I'd need to pass along that context into here as well. But then the problem there is that this gets called in a different place as well. So the apply critical chance is slightly different because what it does is apply critical chance actually does the RNG check to see if you can crit based on the modified critical chance and the modified critical multiplier. So this is the thing that's actually doing the critical check, and then this is the way of getting the current critical chance on the card. So if I passed in some execution context here, I'd need to make sure to do that everywhere else where I'm calling this, which is only in one other place it looks like. Do I want to create an artifact context? Where is this even being called? This create artifact context. Now I'm thinking maybe I should use the context. Maybe I'll go ahead and I'll start with the context stuff, and if it becomes too ballooning, then I'll figure it out. But let's do that. Sorry, I'm just trying to think. What do I want to do? The other risk is that what happens if this artifact manager isn't present? Oh man, I don't know. I don't know what to do. Game juice, game milk, game wine. I've been missing out a lot. It's okay, the VODs are available if you want to check out the VODs. Shoot, I'm so indecisive about this right now. There's part of me that's saying just do the singleton static accessor to get the artifact context, but there's another part of me that's saying like, no, you should be constructing context objects and passing them around. Because in the future, you know, if I have even more stuff that needs to be considered, I already have a context object and a context pattern that I can just stuff more data into. The main reason that I am hesitating on this though is because if I don't have an artifact context, I'm gonna have to create like a dummy context object. So the problem is if I start relying on certain context to be available, but then that context isn't available, then what happens? Shoot. Oh, this is too difficult. Okay, let's just start with the apply. Execution context with state. All right, let's see where apply critical chance is used. So we've got the execution context in there. Execution context in there. Execution context in there. Okay. On the base card, we've got this execution context with state. Let's pass this in. Execution context with state, execution context. And we'll just make this, well, let's not add that just yet. Okay. So that's execution context with state. Ability execution state. Let's go to the base execution context here. Let's do this. Let's do public artifact context. Make a dummy execution context. Let me get this stubbed out first. So get modified critical chance. What I'd essentially do in here, let's modify the artifact context. Let's do public base artifact artifacts. We'll do list. Okay, so in my artifact manager, okay. So there's our artifact context, which also has a list of all the artifacts now. So with that in place, what I can do is what? What can I do? So execution context, where is this being created? See, this is the problem. Now I gotta create this execution context every time. Let's do this. Public static execution context. Make base execution context. Can you make the constructor private? I don't think so, right? So yeah, if I make the constructor private and force this static method to be used, what I can do is I can say scene tree.root get artifact manager, create artifact context. Return new execution context. Artifact context equals artifact context. I think that's okay. Do I need to make this private too? What happens if I make this protected? No. Time to fork. Future Fire Valley can solve that problem. Yeah, true. Game wine can be game juice from older games that feels just as good today. Oh, that's a good one. High-level programming issues, yeah. I'm completely off topic and I don't care. Yeah, it's fine. Might be a dumb question, but do you have something in mind for your next game after this? I don't, no. I don't. Do you make diagrams outlining information flow between game objects before starting coding? I do not, no. Chat is at a standstill right now. Yeah, I'm in the zone. I'm trying to figure out what the heck is going on. I think I'm going to probably need to do this as well. So if I do public static, maybe I should call it create. Oh, this does need to be protected. I feel like I'm destroying everything. Oops. Went too far with that. It's a little messy, but what I'm trying to force is I'm trying to force the artifact context to be in there so I don't have to like do this line every time. I think that's okay. I just have to be very careful with how I'm doing that. Var execution context is equal to execution context dot create get tree. Nope. Gonna have to copy all this again. Okay. Execution context with state dot create. Execution context with state dot create. Execution context dot create get tree. Execution context dot that, and that. Okay. Kind of a weird way of constructing the context, but that's all right. I could create like a factory pattern, I guess, with some built-in validation to make sure that I'm supplying all the required information, but we're not going to do that just yet. We're not going to do that just yet. Okay, did I fix everything? So the whole goal of that was just basically to force a flow that guarantees that the artifact context is going to be present. Crit details. Oh, get modified critical chance. Right. So now here's where I need to create an execution context, which I think is going to be fine. So if I do var execution context is equal to execution context dot create get tree. Then we'll do execution context with state dot create. Oh, do I need to make this virtual or no? Can you make static methods virtual? Public virtual, I don't think so, right? Actually, I'm going to rename this to create enhanced. I don't know, I'm making a butchery of this, it's fine. Ability execution state. Actually, this doesn't need to be with state. This can just be execution context, now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah, it's going to be enhanced with state when it's going in here with this apply critical chance. But this inherits from execution context. So I can just accept that base version of the context, and then I can get rid of this. Yeah, then I can pass in the execution context there, execution context there, and I can just get the critical chance. var critical chance is equal to this. Critical chance is greater than 0. Okay. I mean, I guess that's looking okay. So now my base card, what I need to do is in that get modified critical chance, we're going to do for each var artifact in execution context dot artifact context. We'll do a null check here dot artifacts. So even if that is null, it's just not going to do anything. Chance is equal to artifact dot modify critical chance. Oh, I need to pass in the base card as well. Okay, so basically all of that was in service of doing this. Okay, artifact ID. What the heck? Artifact ID. Oh, is that in the artifact? Where's artifact ID? Oh, it's inside of the artifact registry. Okay. Public const string minion crit chance is equal to minion crit chance. I don't know. Let's see if that works. Let's build. I don't even know what's happening now. I barely know what's happening now. That's true. Still lurking, Neozoid? Howdy. The thing about doing the coding on streams too is that it's not as interesting as doing like the actual design of the UI elements and whatnot, but you know, gotta get it done. So what I'm curious about is if my combat still works. It does not work. Oops. Oh, you know what? I bet the auto-resolve is bugged with the, shoot, it's probably bugged with the artifacts. Contains minion cards. Let's do minion. Give me something with crit chance. I've got no crit chance options. Cool. Another booster down here. Why is that not working? That's weird. Uh-oh. Did I break my game? I probably broke my game, to be honest. Probably broke it. Let's try it without the... Try it without the God mode. Yeah, it's broken. What did I break? What did I break? We've got 21 changes to look at. All right, here we go. I think that's okay. I'm not seeing anything that's obviously wrong in here. Okay, let's go ahead and debug. And what am I going to debug? Let's just debug the damage ability. We should be able to see what's going on in here. Seems like you broke your brain too, yeah. Game is as broke as a college student. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Let's see. All right, so we got our execution context here. Let's take a look at what's in here. Artifact context is null. Well, that's a problem. That kind of defeats the whole purpose for why I did that in the first place. Oh. Right, I'm not passing that along. So that's one issue I need to fix. I don't think that would break the combat though. I'm not seeing any errors in the console either. Oops. I'm not seeing any errors in the console, so there's just probably some bad state that's preventing any damage from being done. We'll figure it out. So we got the artifact context, we've got our list of artifacts in there. Got our card. Skeleton warrior, that's right. Card stats, I'm sure that's okay. Source board, can we see what the source board name is? Player board, okay. State, ability execution state, targeted cards, target board. Name is, yeah, that's fine. Target ordered cards. That's right. Turn context. Oh, there's so much here. Turn executor component, source ordered cards. Did it work? Hold on, did I fix it? Oh, it's working now. Why is it working now? Was it really just that I didn't have the artifact context in there? Why would that not be working though? Oh, those turns are not being reset either. Or unless, oh, I just had it on the full speed. Wait, maybe I'm wrong about that. Oops. Oh, I just closed VS Code. Dang it. Was that really the entire issue? Why would that be causing the issue? That doesn't seem right to me. Maybe just that one thing. Computers are weird. I don't know. There would have to be a reason why that was the case. Okay, it's doing damage now. Okay, maybe I was wrong about that. I think I was wrong about this bug here. So I'm going to test this again. Get rid of that artifact context there. Why would that be causing issues? I don't think... There's no reason that would cause any issues at all. That's so weird. Oh, I wonder if it's related to... Why would that be happening? There's no reason for this not to work. The only place this execution context, artifact context is red, is in here. So if I get rid of this block, don't tell me that's gonna fix it. Why would that doesn't make any sense at all. That makes no sense whatsoever. What? Okay, let's put a breakpoint here. Maybe there's something weird about how a for each loop works when this side is null. That might be the case. Let's see. So now I'm getting this null reference exception. Why was that not happening before? Why was I not getting the null reference exceptions before? Okay, so maybe there's some weirdness about how async works with error handling. Yeah, I'm not getting any errors here. Interesting. So it looks like I'm not getting errors surfaced probably when we're in a context of an asynchronous operation, which is what this is. So I was assuming that this for each loop would just be skipped if the right side was null, but that appears not to be the case. So this was failing here, but it wasn't raising any errors through the Godot editor. But when I run it in a debugger, it raises the errors. So that's fine. I think what I can do is I can just do a null coalescing there for an empty array, and that should fix it. Okay, that makes sense. I was getting thrown off by the lack of errors. That makes sense though. So now if I do it, it should be fine. Yeah, okay. So I was just doing a null reference exception there. Cool, all right. Now that we've discovered that, we'll go into the execution context here. Our execution context was state, put this back. Okay, now what I can do is I can go to my run manager here and I can add artifact, add artifact ID, minion crit chance. You did get the errors right before you close VS Code. Oh, I see. I find Copilot helpful to debug random errors sometimes, might be worth a shot. Not knowing if you have an error because it doesn't show up in Godot. Yeah, that is scary. Never mind. Yeah, thank you for the suggestion, Sparrow Patch, but I would have probably reverted to that if I couldn't identify the error, but... So now let's take a look at this. So now we can see that all the minions here have a 20% crit chance added. So let's see if that ever procs. There we go, 12, look at that. So now that artifact is just passively adding crit chance to all these minions here. And if I were to get another minion as well, let's go to the booster here. Let's see if I can get a minion. Minions. So you can see that those all have their 20% crit chance there as well. This one's got 35% crit chance because the salamander has a base of 15. So if I take the salamander there. Oh my gosh, I immediately died. Oh goodness. Okay. Anyway, so long story short, the artifact works now. The new artifact works. Look at that, all those changes that were necessary just to support that one artifact. Oh, it feels so good to synchronize a massive batch of changes. I will not lose that data now. Having an error without error message is terrifying, yeah. Will there be an endless mode, by the way? Maybe. People ask for endless modes, an endless mode in Gunforged. So I might make an endless mode in this game. Minions, tonight we steal the moon. Yes, indeed. How's development today? It's good. Actually, I'm about to end the stream, but thank you for asking. But yeah, that's going to be it for the stream today. I'm glad we were able to get that done. Obviously, it still needs art, but we can handle that at a later point. So I'm going to go get some lunch. I have some work to do for my part-time job, and then I will see you all tomorrow. I think I'll be able to stream tomorrow at the usual time. Let me check my calendar. Yeah, I'll be streaming tomorrow at the usual time. So 10 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow. Are you going to end the river too? Oh, good one. Good one. All right. Thanks, everyone, for being here. I enjoyed it, and I hope to see you tomorrow. All right, bye-bye, everyone.